Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. So this is a bench, but more of a channel update really. I'm not going to show anything I'm working on. You can see stuff behind me there. There's stuff down here. There's lots of projects going on. But it's a bit of an update in relation to the channel, the kind of direction that the channel's going in, I guess, and how my hobbies go in and what direction I'm sort of being drawn in. So that said, the Warhammer stuff absolutely is still there. The gaming table's behind me. You can see here in this cabinet here all the armies, the Warhammer dios are here. That's continuing, but I'm playing more to test the armies before I start to run any more units. So certainly within the next month, 2 months, I'm going to do a couple of videos. I don't know what to call them. Are they army showcases or whatever, where I'll run through. So I've got two armies, Space Wolves and Orcs. So I'll show the armies as they are now. But it is just a bit of test and adjust now before I start adding more units to them and committing that time. I've got loads of stuff in boxes, brand new. But I don't want to open those boxes and use that stuff if actually in the game it's not benefiting me or benefiting the army, because they hold their value, so I can just move them on and get stuff I need. So that's what's happening with the Warhammer stuff. In relation to the scale modeling, I had a massive crisis, if you like, a few months ago in relation to scale modeling, where I was just going to step away from the whole thing, and I was going to just focus on Warhammer and 40k and that sort of stuff. And then something happened. It was an event that I'd committed to as part of a 48-hour build for the Model Officers Mess birthday bash. And also it was raising money for Models for Heroes, which those of you that know me and know the channel and everything else, I'm an ambassador for Models for Heroes. I firmly believe in what they do and the benefits that it can have. So I kind of committed to that a year ago. So I was definitely going to do that. And the idea of that weekend, for those that didn't see it, was that you built a 48 scale kit in 48 hours. It was streamed across the 48 hours across 5 different time zones, I believe. And lots of people around the world got involved in that. And that was going to be sort of my exit from scale modeling, if you like. No one knew about it. I just sat down at the bench for the 48 hours and did my thing. And it was a revelation for me in relation to scale modeling. How much, without any pressure, just sitting down and building a kit, which sounds bizarre because I had 48 hours to do it, but just, it kind of reignited my passion, for want of a better word, for the hobby, for scale modeling and everything else. And in particular, one of the groups or one of the podcasts that were involved in that weekend were the Plastic Posse. And we ended up joining them. It was late at night in the UK, but sort of middle of the day for them, or early evening. And joining them and just seeing those guys' passion for the hobby and everything else. And that kind of, it flicked a switch in my brain. I was like, I'm really gonna, get back into this. Not forget the Warhammer stuff, that's ongoing, but just get back into scale modeling. And my passion in scale modeling has always been armor. But I'd kind of never built or never really looked at World War II, particularly German armor. I'd never done it. And then as a knock-on effect of that, I started watching Night Shift, I started watching Michael Rinaldi, and all these fantastic prevalent modelers, particularly in that genre. And it flicked a switch. So I started looking at sort of World War II German vignettes, using German armour and figures and all that sort of stuff. I finished one, which you may have seen floating around the various Facebook groups and stuff, which is sort of a late winter, snow's sort of going away and the whitewash was worn off and a bit of a trench and all that stuff. And I finished that and I really enjoyed it. So I've got another one on the bench at the minute that I'm working on, which is more of a city, destroyed rubble and all that stuff with a Panther House A on it and some figures. They're not dioramas, they're vignettes. I don't think they're dioramas because they're not big enough. They don't particularly tell a story. They're just a way of framing that piece of armour and putting it into its natural habitat, really. So I'm working on that. I'm also working on a Japanese Type 97 from Tamiya in a jungle sort of setting. As a little bit of a vignette or a really fancy display base, whichever way you want to look at it. The Rubicon Sherman I'm working on. I'm trying to build a base for that completely out of cardstock, which is a new thing. So that's the direction the channel's going in. I don't propose to do any more live streams for the time being because the internet, or YouTube certainly, is saturated with live streams. And unless I've got something, you know, some good quality content to put out there on a live stream, then I really don't see the point. You can pick from many, many live streams if you want to sort of watch live. It's not something I'm looking at doing in the foreseeable future because I haven't really got anything that I believe is worthy of live streaming at the minute. Really enjoyed the big boy build with Mike, Scaly Models, Mr. Mountain. That's all finished. Again, pictures of that went up on the various groups and what have you. And if you want to see pictures of any of this stuff, then certainly check out my Instagram, Black Rifle Model Works, and all the pictures are on there. I've recently finished the Trumpeter 35th Scale ASLAV Phase 3, which is the Australian Army version. Did that as a vehicle operating in Afghanistan. I did some stowage through it, a couple of figures on the base and all that sort of stuff. That I did as a group build, buddy build with Chunk, Southwest Modeler. He's still in the process of his, but I've had a bit more time than him to concentrate on that. So that's finished. So that's the direction my hobby's going in. I've also picked up an aircraft to do for the Japanese group build over on International Scale Modeler. I'm not an aircraft guy by any stretch. I count on less than one hand how many aircraft I've built. But the 32nd scale Tornado is almost there. I'm just putting the final bits to it, and I will do a bit of a video on that because actually it's turned out pretty nice, or I think it's pretty nice. It certainly won't win any competitions. It's a terrible kit. It's lacking in all sorts of detail and everything else. But for my first large scale aircraft, I'm quite happy with how it looks. It looks like a Tornado, essentially. So I'm happy with that. So I will do a short video on that once I've got all the final bits on it and I've done the base and all that stuff, and we'll have a look at that. So I'm going to do the 48 scale Tamiya Kawasaki KI61 ID High-End, I think it is. Look at that off the top of my head. As a non-aircraft guy, which was a Japanese World War II fighter, natural metal finish, which I've never done before either. So I'm gonna have a go at that, and I'm really gonna take my time on that one and try and learn, you know, the likes of Al McNeish, Jim Clark, you know, these aircraft guys that have been doing this stuff for years and years and years, and try and gain as much as I can from them knowledge wise, and really I'm going to build it out of the box. I'm not going to do any aftermarket and stuff with it, but I'm just going to try and do a nice clean, well proportioned, right angles and all that important stuff with aircraft, and let the model kind of speak for itself. It's a lovely kit out of the box from what I've seen so far, but I've only really got to the cockpit stage currently. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully that will go well. And that's also flicked a little bit of a switch for aircraft as well. So the armour guy does aircraft, really. So yeah, other than that, as I said, the Rubicon Sherman's ongoing. There will be a video up of that in the next few days, showing the painting. I've really gone for an exaggerated, modulated look, the Spanish school, whatever you want to call it. Because I've never done that before either. I've never painted in that style. And essentially it's a wargaming piece. pretty much, although they are nice little models in their own right. But it is designed and with that war gaming use in mind. So I wanted to do something that was more visually interesting rather than realistic, if that kind of makes sense. So that I'm going to try that and try and use that sort of modulation technique, if you like. But I'm going to kind of break that down into some videos and try and show where I'm going with that. So that'll be some content for the channel. Other than that, that's it. That's the kind of direction I'm going in, this direction that my hobby's going in. I'm really enjoying it. It's reignited my passion for scale modeling, particularly, you know, the armor stuff and weathering and learning the oil paint rendering and all that stuff all over again, really. And I'm really enjoying it. So I've got to say a massive thank you to James Skiffins, Model Officer, the Plastic Posse, Malcolm Charles from Models for Heroes. These are all people that have kind of drawn me back in, if that makes sense, to the scale modeling. Because a few months ago, I was ready to leave it all behind and completely focus 100% on the Warhammer stuff. And these people have kind of inspired me, you know, and they won't watch these videos, but Night Shift, Mike Rinaldi, Rick Lawler, all these people that I've been watching intently over the last few months and have reignited my passion. They've inspired me to try and do some real good stuff and do the best builds I can. Unfortunately, that has had a trade-off that now I seem unable to build any kit without putting it on a base or a vignette and adding some bits to it. But that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because I'm learning all the time. So yeah, very short video, very short update. As I say, I'm not going to show anything I'm working on currently, not because I don't want to. It's just this was a short video. I haven't done a face-to-camera video bench update, channel update for a long time now. It's been months. So I just thought I'm still around. I'm still at the bench. I'm still building. It's just things have taken a bit of a different turn over the last few months, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So expect some more content. Expect me to put lots of photos up in the usual places. And again, massive thanks to all those people I've mentioned, because they've drawn me back into the fold and drawn me back into this crazy world of scale modeling. So yeah, that's it. As I say, next few days, the first part of the Rubicon Sherman will hit the channel, so keep your eye open for that. The only way to do that is hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell notification. You'll get told by YouTube when it hits the channel. So please do that. Tell all your friends. Yeah, and that's it, guys. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being patient, and expect some content as and when I can. I don't do this full time. I've got a full-time job. I've got a career. This is a hobby. So as and when I can, I'll try and put out the best content I can. But obviously, I'm not a professional video editor or anything like that. I'm doing this in my spare room with a mediocre PC and mediocre talent. So bear with me. But yeah, until next time, guys, stay safe, happy hobbying, take care. Bye-bye.